Hello, my kitty patooties, and welcome the frick in. We are here live with my Twitch. Twitch, would you like to say hello to the YouTube gang? We are going to be listening to The Smashing Pumpkins, and this is the song called Bullet with Butterfly Wings. That's a very interesting image if you think about it that way. I'm not sure what that is going to entail in terms of kind of the story of this or anything like that, but we're going to jump in and we're going to find out. But before we do, just a friendly reminder to please like and subscribe. And with that said, shall we get into it, my darlings? Let's do it. You guys are sassy.
The world is a vampire sent to drain secret destroyers hold you up to the flames. And what do I get for my pain? Betrayed desires and a piece of the game. Even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like old Joe. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Now I'm naked. Nothing but
Roki dokie. The world is a vampire sent to drain. Secret destroyers hold you up to the flames. And what do I get for my pain, betrayed desires, and a piece of the game? Even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool and cold like old Job. I'm not sure what he's referring to when he's talking about old Job. In Genius.com, an annotation is saying that it's referring to a biblical character named Job, who was forced to endure many hardships as a test of his faith to God. Though through all the difficulties he had to deal with his life, the singer will remain calm and collected. Oh, I think that's just talking about this singer, not Job. Despite all my rage, I am still a rat in a cage. Some will say what is lost can never be saved. We see all of these people working in really horrible conditions. We have a verse, or we have a lyric literally saying the world is a vampire sent to drain. Secret destroyers hold you up to the flames. And what do I get for my pain? Betrayed desires and a piece of the game. And then he goes on to say, despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. So it definitely feels like he's talking about, you know, exploitation and kind of like the exploitation, and also kind of like, I guess, using somebody or a whole bunch of people, a group of people as like guinea pigs in a sense, like would also be exploitation. But it just feels like despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. And it's kind of like, despite how upset I am with maybe where I am, what I'm doing, who I am, etc., he's like, I'm still just a rat in a cage to them, you know? And when he's saying, when I say them, I mean like the world is a vampire, like people in, you know, positions of of power, is kind of what I'm getting. So yeah, it just really feels like he's talking about exploitation in different ways, in many ways. But obviously we see the band playing in like a dirt pit, and you have all of these people that look like they are working in really harsh conditions. So yeah, exploitation is what I'm getting from this. At least so far. We're not done.
Nothing but an animal. But can you fake it for just one more show? And what do you want? I wanna change. What do you got?
Oof.
When you feel the same, even though I know, I suppose I'll show all my cool like Despite all my rage, I'm still just ready to cave. Despite all my rage, I'm still just ready to cave. And someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just ready to tell me I'm
Okay, wait. Before we get into the kind of like that midsection, the bridge-ish area, okay, so the second verse I think also explains a little bit more. Now I'm naked, nothing but an animal. But you can fake it for, okay, wait. The first portion, now I'm naked, nothing but an animal, is kind of for me, it kind of points to, again, coming back to that exploitation of people, whether it's, slave labor, whether it's just like really underpaid labor, which I mean, I guess is slave labor. It's coming to where a human is viewed as less than what they are, which is human. And so it's kind of like it's talking about the exploitation of them and how we kind of get that disconnect. Like some people start looking at other people with this disconnect. Or like being derogatory and being like they're nothing but an animal, which is just also really, really effed up. So there's that portion of the verse, and then you have, but you can fake it for just one more show. And what do you want? I want to change. And what do you got when you feel the same? So like that second portion, but you can fake it for just one more show, makes me think of like there are different ways of, exploiting people, and it's not a bad, we're not gonna look at it as like it's a battle of which one's worse, quote unquote, but like we're not gonna argue about that. It's just more of like showing different ways of exploitation, because it's like, but can't you fake it for just one more show? Like it's like they're gonna make money off of you, and they are exploiting that because they'll work you till you freaking collapse kind of thing. And it's just a different way that might be happening, you know, is what I see from that. So it's like you have an extreme case of, you know, exploitation where this looks like to me like slave labor. And then you have another exploitation where it's talking about perhaps the showbiz, because when they say, but can't you fake it for just one more show? That's where my brain goes. That's what it feels like it's implying, is it's kind of talking about perhaps like the entertainment business and such. So it's just like another way of exploitation. But again, we're not gonna, yeah. And then when it was talking about the old job, and it kind of, the annotations for it was talking about a biblical character named John who was forced to endure many hardships as his test of faith to his God. I don't know if they're kind of like implying that the people in power have the power as a god in a sense, you know, like the power to help someone out of a situation or to totally destroy their lives, you know, like I'm all cool and cold, just like old job, like I'm jumping through the rings, you know, to show that I'm useful kind of mentality. Like it's like I was not expecting this. Like maybe I'm looking too much into it, but maybe I'm not. And this is just some heavy shiznaz that I was not expecting from the Smashing Pumpkins. The last time I watched Smashing Pumpkins was Tonight Tonight. It's very whimsical and uplifting and lovely. And now we're in this dark place.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. And someone will say what is lost can never be saved. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a. Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. Tell me I'm the only one. Tell me there's no other one. Jesus wasn't on this earth, but yeah. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved. And I still believe that I cannot be saved.
Jeez. You know what's quite interesting about this is that it's literally called Bullet with Butterfly Wings, and yet nowhere in the song did they say that. That is interesting. That was whoa. I definitely feel like it's talking about, I'm going to say it one last time, exploitation. I definitely feel like, you know, it's kind of talking about how there are, I guess, different levels of power in the world, and how there's a lot of people out there that, you know, they don't have that empathy, and mistreat people. And kind of from a perspective of one of those people being mistreated, he is, you know, despite all his rage, he's still just a cat in a cage. Rat in a cage. Why do I keep saying cat? Oh my god. So some really heavy stuff. That's what I got from it. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I always come I come into these videos, and this is my first time listening to it, so it's kind of like, what do I get from it from my first pass of listening to it, and looking at the lyrics and all that stuff. So that's just what I got from it. What the band, you know, originally wrote it for, what you may get from it, it could be completely different than me. But that was really interesting. So thank you very much for recommending that. I hope that you enjoyed my reaction to this. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.